Hello and welcome to a journey of clarity, a personal exploration of getting in tune with yourself and in tune with others with your host, Dr. Natanael Costea. This is a journey of emotional and spiritual awareness, of discovering what life truly means, and a clear shift from an ego-driven world to a meaning-driven world. I believe we can become more in tune with our thoughts, our emotions, and our spirituality. And as we do that, we will make better decisions, have deeper connections, more fulfillment, and even more joy. This is a bit of clarity. G'day, Natanael here with episode 35. You know, when you have a conversation with somebody and you reflect on that conversation afterwards and you realize that you might have said something that wasn't appropriate. It's not that the words that you said weren't appropriate. It's not that the tone of voice or how you said it was inappropriate, but the timing. How many times in our life did we get the timing wrong? We either said it too early or too late, or we just weren't sensitive enough, or we didn't read the person, we didn't understand the person enough, or we didn't read the room, or we just blundered something, or we just emailed somebody or messaged something where it didn't make sense, or we either did it in a time when we were angry or too happy, and we just didn't realize how the receiver will receive that information. So today what I want to focus on is this timing, how important timing is with everything that we do in life. Imagine if we can capture this concept and apply it in our lives, in our relationships, in our most valuable relationship with the person that we share life with our husband or wife. Imagine if we're able to understand the timing, when to say, when not to say, when to go, when not to go, how to put things, just sort of reading what's going on in their lives and understand what you can do to bless them, to love them more, to help them, to assist them. And just to read that timing, that opportunity that comes at the perfect moment, as we say, perfect timing. That was in perfect timing. I went there and I met that person and everything was, it's like coincidental. We call it coincidence. We call it God incidence. We make all these terms about timing. The timing is very important. So in your show notes, if you haven't downloaded them until now, they are on eq.org.au, also in the links provided wherever you are watching this or listening to this content. So, develop an understanding of timing, episode 35, eq.org.au. Timing refers to someone's ability to know what to say and when to say what they need to say. When to say and what to say. Timing has these two dimensions in the sense when to say it, but what to say in that moment, because timing has to do not just with the seconds, but it has to do with the moment as well. If it's important to say it at the right time. We meet up with people and at the right time, they just say the right things. They show empathy, they show care, or they encourage us, or they even confront us. And that confrontation, because we were ready for that, it just changes everything in us. So timing is important. And when you have this awareness, when you have this timing ability in your social intelligence, you can read this in other people. You can read it, you can understand it, you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Timing is everything. It's like, if he didn't do it then, or if only she understood me then. Everything, I wasn't ready. How many times do we say, it was the right question, it was the right opportunity, but I wasn't ready. He came at the wrong time, or she said that when I was most vulnerable. So timing has to do with everything. It's not what you say, it's not how you say, but timing is everything. So imagine if we can capture this ability to know what to say and when to say it at the right time, okay? In our daily communication, knowing when the communication receivers are most receptive is critical. So let me rephrase that again. So in our daily communication, when we talk to people, knowing when they are ready to receive when the receiver of that communication, so there's a sender and a receiver. Let's say if we're communicating with someone, we are the senders and they are the receivers. So just knowing when they are most receptive to what we're saying is absolutely vital, is critical. Knowing when they are ready to clinch the deal, knowing when they are ready to say yes, knowing when they are ready to make the move, knowing when they are ready to receive what we are giving them. Because if they're not ready, you can give them the best offer, you can give them the best advice, you can show the most empathy, but if they can't receive it, it just blows up in the air. It just doesn't go anywhere. So being able to read that is a wonderful skill. If we are to get our message across to these people, we need to have this ability to know the timing. Advertisers know this, the right time, the right place. You look, if you drive down the highway, let's say if you go for a longer distance, let's say we live in Perth, in Western Australia, and we often travel down south. We go south of Perth because there's a lot of holiday towns. Beautiful region, you've got Busselton with Geograph Bay, the longest pier in the southern hemisphere, a beautiful, beautiful attraction. Then you've got Dunsborough with amazing beaches, Miller Beach, Castle Rock, Bunker Bay, the most scenic beaches in the world. Almost, they seem like they are, they haven't been touched. Beautiful, beautiful beaches. Then Yallingup, and then Margaret River with the surf beaches, wineries, caves, so many wonderful things to do. Now, the advertisers and everybody knows that when you are going down south, there are intervals where you need to have a break. And rightly so, about an hour from Perth, there is a service station with McDonald's, with all the services that you need to have a break. An hour later, there is another one. Then in Bunbury, you've got Bunbury Fresh, right on the highway, which is a major attraction. Again, fresh markets. So they know how to catch you. They know to advertisers. They know timing is very, very important. When you will be tired, when you will be hungry, etc., etc. They do that at sports. They do that everywhere. At halftime, they'll chuck in some ads with drinks and food. And before you know it, everybody just runs to those outlets to purchase those things. Everything is timed. There's a lot of thought that goes on behind the scenes. So the right time, the right place is understood by the marketers, by the advertisers. Also, the politicians know this. They know what to say at the right time in the right place during their campaign, during the scenario that they face, during the situation that they face. They know what to say in that place. They know how to get across to people. They are very attentive to their audience, and they send the message very, very well. And at times we notice this, and at times we don't. We just go with the flow, and we accept that, and we actually are gripped by it. We are captured by it. We flow with it because somebody else has done the thought process behind the scenes for us. So to understand timing, I need you to understand how time works before you can understand timing. So I've explained here the difference between Chronos and Kairos. Chronos and Kairos. So do bear with me because this is very important. If you get this, a lot of things will make sense in life. So just whatever you're doing right now, just block your mind away from whatever thought pattern you have or you're drifting away, and just stay with me for the next 2-3 minutes because I want you to really get this. So the ancient Greeks had two ways to describe how time is experienced. So two ways to look at time, not only to look at time, but two ways to experience time. And one is Chronos, which we are very familiar with. It's the sequential or linear quantitative time that you can measure in hours, minutes, and seconds as per our clocks. So, you know the time, which is sequential. Hours, minutes, you look at the watch, you look at the clock, and you know time. So that is a time, that is Chronos. That's where we get the chronological aspect of time. So that is one way to view time. Well, there is another way to look at time, and it's exactly what we were talking about just before, being in the perfect moment at the perfect time. And that the ancient Greeks called it Kairos time. Kairos time. So you've got the chronos, which is the seconds and minutes and hours, and you've got the Kairos time, which is a moment in time, an opportunity, a perfect timing. So, let's say when you meet somebody, you say, in that moment, I knew something. In the perfect timing, that happens. It was like, it just happened. So capturing where really time stops, capturing a moment in time where things just happen, when it's perfect timing, when something unblocks, or you get a learning, or you have a light bulb moment, or something clicks for you, when you make sense of something, that is called a kairos. A circular moment that comes and goes, then can come back again, a qualitative moment, an appointed time. So chronos is measured in quantity, and kairos in quality. An important moment in time which has had an impact on you, where almost time stopped, but you acknowledged, you had the awareness, and you captured that moment in time. That is kairos. We can experience good kairoses when something amazing happens to us, and we just realize that, in that moment I was really happy. When I saw her, time stood still, and I was the happiest man alive. That is a kairos. That is a good kairos. And then I wrote in there, we can experience good kairos moments or opportunities to learn kairos moments. Not so good kairos moments, but these give us an opportunity to learn. They may be bad kairoses. In that moment, I realized that I went too far. In that moment, I realized that I said too much. In that moment, I realized that I stretched my leg, or I had that accident. Whatever it is, it could be a bad kairos, but it's an opportunity to learn. And all these kairoses happen to us throughout the day. We can have good kairoses, we can have bad kairoses. These good kairoses are wonderful, so we rejoice, we're happy with them. And those ones are opportunities for us to learn. That means you're awake, that means you're vigilant, that means you understand what's going on all around you, with you, but also with the people around you. And you can have these kairoses all the time. So to understand timing in your everyday social aspect, as part of your social intelligence, you must see these kairoses that are happening in your life all the time. And when you capture these, you can understand that these work for you, and you can become more socially intelligent. Reading the kairos, the perfect timing. So I've listed here 7 ways or 7 steps. They're not really steps because they're more pillars. 7 pillars of you to understand a kairos moment. Now, I haven't really downloaded these from anywhere, or I haven't read them from other bits and pieces. These are just things that I've come up with from a lot of reflection, a lot of experience that I've come across. And this term was introduced to me maybe about 7 or 8 years ago when I studied timing. And since then, let me tell you that it has become a part of my life, understanding these kairos moments. And I'm beginning to learn more and more about the importance of timing, the importance of something that is happening in a moment of time that is either working for me directly or working for me as a process to advance me or to take me closer to where I want to be. So reading the Kairos, the perfect timing. Number 1, I said they look for it. You will not experience a Kairos. I mean, you will experience many Kairoses, but most of us are not aware of it. We're oblivious to them. So begin to look for those moments in time that are important to you. Become aware of the power of timing. Be awake and alert, I wrote there. Eyes and ears and hearts wide open. So live in that moment. Try and see what's going on. Become aware that timing is very important, and be awake. Be alert. Look for it. Look for it around you. Look for it. What am I learning from this? Why did that person say that? What is it that this is doing to me? Why is this stirring me up? Why is this making me happy? What shifted in me? Why is this important? What should I respond? What should I say? Should I wait? Should I gain more perspective? Gather more evidence? Whatever it is, look for these moments. Look for this perfect timing. Don't be too rushed to make a conclusion, to make a judgment. In some cases, you will have to because it's safety at stake. But in other cases, just wait a little bit, see what's going on, suss out what's happening. Procrastinate on purpose, in a sense. Just wait one moment and look for the good in every situation. Look for what this timing brings to you and try to read the timing. Hope this makes sense. Number two. So number one, look for it. Number two, be present. Learn to be present in the moment tense, in the moment that you're living life. Kairos can only be experienced in the very moment it happens. You can't experience Kairoses in the past, or you can't experience Kairoses in the future. You can only experience it in the moment. You can reflect on those Kairoses experienced in the past, but this moment of timing can only be experienced in that very perfect timing, in that very moment. So be in the moment and learn to live in the present. And I know I've mentioned this in previous episodes as well. Not many people are able to live in the present tense, in the present moment. So the more you live in the present moment, the more you will capture the present opportunities that come in that very moment. Otherwise, you miss them. And we miss so many things through life because we're unaware. We spend time with our loved ones, with our children maybe. And I can miss so many wonderful moments with my children by ignoring them, by thinking about work, by thinking about what I have to do tomorrow. And in that moment that I'm spending time with them, my mind could be somewhere else. And I miss the opportunities, I miss the kairoses that moment brings. And so easily we fluctuate between the past and the future. Most of our thinking has to do with either the past or the future, and not so much with the present tense. That's why we don't experience happiness that much either, because we don't live in the present moment. That's why children are so happy, because they know how to capture the present moment. They live in that moment, and they are the most happiest creatures alive, because they know, or they don't even know, but they just live in the present moment. So learn to be present in every situation, and you will experience this Kairos as you will become more timely in what you say, in what you do, and how you will take on the opportunities that come your way. Number three, realize the power of today. Realize the power of today. Take one day at a time and realize it's a gift and it has power. Learn the power of the day. Be present, but also understand that there are opportunities that come every single day. There's timing that has to do with every day. Take one day at a time. Don't think too far ahead. Don't regret too much of the past. I know we're tempted to measure 6 months, and we have yearly goals, and we have, quarterly goals, and maybe monthly and weekly tasks and goals. These are all fine. But you only live one day at a time. You only live moments by moments every day. So learn to bring things down to the very present day and understand that there is power in today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Live in the present day as much as you can. And at the end of the day, just shut your eyes and shut the day, and enough worry for today, and go to bed and worry about tomorrow, and only be concerned with the issues of today. You will live a stressless life. You will understand more and more the opportunities that come to you that day, and you will be more at rest and more at peace. So eliminate the interest of tomorrow's stress from your life. Why pay it in advance? You will deal with it tomorrow. So learn to be in the present moment today, and you are going to experience life to the fullest because you are in the present tense in that day. Number three, that was realize the power of today. Number four, pause. Learn to stop. Learn to pause and reflect during and after Kairos. So if you have a light bulb moment, for example, an idea comes to you, and that's a Kairos, just pause and reflect. Maybe note it down, write it down. Make use of it, capture it. Otherwise, you lose it. How many things and ideas and opportunities came our way throughout the days, and we missed them because we didn't stop, we didn't reflect, we didn't write them down, we didn't make the phone call, we didn't search the web on that. We took no notice of it. We just allowed that moment to fly by. So pause and reflect. And also in our conversations, how many times do we rush? How many times do we
do we not pause and listen to the whole conversation? And we don't wait in conversations to have a say. Maybe we don't have to have a say. Maybe we need to wait for the perfect timing in that conversation when we bring something of value in that conversation. Sometimes we speak and then we think as we speak what we will say, but we are so irrelevant and inappropriate in our approach. So pausing and reflecting and just waiting is very, very powerful. So learn, just hold back and wait in conversations, and also pause in your daily activities. When something amazing happens or there's an opportunity for you to learn something, when you experience a Kairos, when you make the click, just stop and write it down. Otherwise, you miss it. You miss it, and we've done that so many times. Number 5, patience to understand. Now, this is a tough one. Natanael, please don't speak to us about patience. Yes, I am speaking about patience, because if you want to be socially intelligent, you need to have patience. We live with people. We are part of the same fabric. We are part of society. We are human beings. God created us to be interpersonal, to have relationships with one another, and we need to have the patience to understand other people. Put yourself patiently in the mindset of the people to whom you are trying to communicate. Put yourself not in their shoes. We've heard that for too long. Put yourself in their mindset and try and think, how they see it. And at the right time, bring the right shift or the right validation or the right affirmation or the right way forward in that conversation. So have the patience to understand the person. Have the patience to understand their worldview, their upbringing. They are different than you. They see things differently. They're in a different bubble. Don't pop their bubble. Sometimes you might have to pop their bubble, but just try and see their way. Try to understand them. And in the perfect timing, when you do that, you will be able to help those people. You might even bring a change in them and a shift in them, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is, first of all, to understand them. So that was number 5, patience to understand. Number 6, read the season. Read the room, read the season, read the situation, read the circle. When you go into a new conversation, let's say you go into a room where there's many people, before you even make a statement, before you even make a judgment, even in your mind, read what's going on. Observe, look around. Who's talking to whom? What are they discussing at each table or in each circle, wherever there are conversations? Read the situation, read the room, read the people, read what's going on, and patiently wait for the right moment for you to have your say or your contribution to the discussion. Also, understand that people go through various life or situational seasons. Listen to understand their season. So when you communicate with people, if you want to be in the right timing, in the right moment, understand their timing. Understand their season. Maybe it's a season of grieving for them. Maybe they've just suffered a loss. Maybe it's a season of celebration for them. They just had a major deal breakthrough or a victory. Read what's going on and flow with that. Live in that moment with those people. Read their emotions, read their mindset, read what's going on, and be one with them in that moment. And understand what's going on. Don't break the flow. Don't break the conversation. Don't switch the subject. Don't go somewhere else. Don't segue somewhere else, because they are in the right moment, in the right season, and maybe at the right time in that communication, in that conversation, you are able to segue. But wait for that moment. Understand them first. Understand their season of life. Understand what they are going through. Understand their emotions. Understand what's going on. Have this social awareness before you can contribute for a way forward. And number 7, shift. Shift. Every Kairos brings an opportunity to shift for you and the other person. Help yourself while helping them. So in every situation, when you are communicating, when you are experiencing a Kairos, either for yourself or in a group, see the change or the opportunity for a shift in that Kairos. What do you need to change? What do they need to change? And help them. And while you're helping them, you're actually helping yourself. So know what they can do, or They say that the best way to get over a situation in your life, which is very challenging, is to help somebody facing the same situation. Because while you're helping them, you're actually helping yourself. So if I can't solve a problem, let's say I have a car problem, I'll go and help somebody else that has the same problem. And while helping them, I'm actually solving my situation as well. So if somebody, let's say, doesn't understand the concept, and no, if I don't understand the concept and somebody else doesn't understand the concept, we got to say to them and say, okay, let me help you with this. I don't fully understand it, but I'm willing to come the journey with you. And while you're helping them, you're actually helping yourself as well, because you are making a shift in yourself in an open way to help them make a shift in their life. You're actually contributing to their shift while you're making a shift in your life as well. But make sure that every Kairos moment also that happens in your life on a personal level brings a change in you. There's an opportunity for you to grow bigger, to grow better, to grow higher. In every moment that you make a click, that you make something makes sense to you. In that moment, there's an opportunity for you to grow, to develop. Don't let that moment go by. Just say to yourself, from now I'm going to do this, or I'm going to begin to do this. Because unless that takes traction in your life, that Kairos moment, that timing has just disappeared. It just blows up. It just not blows up. It just vanishes, basically. So make sure that you make the change when the opportunity comes your way. So I'll just recap those 7 pillars that will help you read the Kairos, the perfect timing. Number 1, look for it. Number 2, be present. Number 3, realize the power of today. Pause at number 4. Number 5, patience to understand. Number 6, read the season. And number 7, make the shift, change, go in the direction that the Kairos has given you the opportunity to move into. All right, application. Look for a few Kairos moments throughout the today and write them down together with the shift that they brought to you. So look for the Kairos that you experience today in your daily goings and write them down. If you don't write them down, they will dissipate, you will forget them. And look at the shift that they've made in your life today. I'll give you a Kairos moment. So this morning when I drove here, it's quite early here, it's a Sunday morning. It is winter in Australia at this time, so it's quite cold, so blasted the heater in the car. And I put on the radio, and there's a particular radio station called 98.5 here in Western Australia, which on Sunday morning has beautiful hymns, old hymns of the faith. And as I turned the music on, they had these beautiful hymns going on. And one of these hymns had the old King James English in it, with thy, they were referring to God, and they were just referring to him as thy, for you, thy God. It was a hymn that they were singing. So I thought to myself, I had a Kairos moment in that where time stopped, and I thought, how much have I neglected in my life this old version of English? And if I could go back to its poetry and maybe read some of these hymns, and it's nice to listen to them, but also read them and allow them to speak to me in that pure form, in that heavyweight form, because that language is so powerful, that old English language, and because we have been listening and we communicate in modern English, we lose that old, rich wealth of those words that are no longer available to us, or we're no longer using them in communication. But they mean so much. We lose that meaning, the richness of that meaning. And I thought to myself, I need to go back and on a regular basis reframe some of the things that we say every day, revisit some of the old language, revisit some of the poetry, revisit some of the hymns, revisit some of the verses, revisit some of the sayings, because there's power in those. And because they use all the terms, in each of those older terms, there's some powerful understanding. So I want to go back because of just listening to that hymn, that Kairos occurred in me, and now it stirred up a desire because I captured that moment to go back and reflect again and again on those things because they are important to me, and I find them intriguing. I find them, I think they will enrich my life and my understanding of things and my understanding, the way I appreciate things and the way I appreciate language and beauty in life. And my whole experience of life will take a new dimension. It will be enriched. So I want to do that. So because of that Kairos that happened in the car by listening to the radio station. Now, if I was drifting, if I was thinking about something else, if my mind was away somewhere else, I would not have captured that very moment, and that Kairos would not have happened. But because in that moment, I was in the present moment in the car, listening to the words of that music, and I went deeper in that, my connection with those lyrics, all of a sudden a Kairos, a positive Kairos happened to me, and a new shift has occurred, which brings an opportunity to learn, which makes me more drawn to that learning. That learning will bring benefits into me. I will appreciate more life. I will have a better understanding of what those terms mean. And it just brings more happiness, more joy, more meaning to life. You see what Kairos, one of the Kairoses that I've had this morning. So look for Kairos moments during a day. Look for 3-4 of these and write them down, and also write the shifts that they brought to you, the changes that they brought in you, and what will you do to make these changes real for you. And I just pray that you will become more alert to the timing in your life, and then as you become more in tune with yourself in these Kairos moments, you will begin to be more in tune with the other people as you communicate with them. And when you send information to them, you will send it at the right time, which will cause Kairos moments in them. The purpose for you is to notice Kairos so much more that you are able to help others experience Kairos moments for themselves. So the value that you bring to them in the perfect timing will create Kairos moments for them that will bring shift and changes and blessings to them. So I really hope this content helps you and these things make sense. I'm always concerned as to how clear I am, because this is a bit of clarity and I don't want to somehow become too technical in the way I present this. I just want you to have clarity, because this clarity will help you become the best version of yourself. And that is my goal, is to help you achieve the very best in you. Because when you get better and I get better, everybody gets better. I can't wait to see you next time. Until then, share this content, rate, subscribe, and help us spread the word that through emotional intelligence, we can become better people out there.
I'm Dr. Natanael Costea, and I thank you so much for joining me on this journey of clarity through emotional and spiritual awareness. If you feel blessed by this presentation, please subscribe, rate, comment, and share it wherever you're enjoying it. And until next time, this was a bit of clarity.